Hi. Okay, so last time we worked on if I have moles of one substance, how many moles of the other substance do I need, or how many moles are produced, or if I produced X number of moles, how many moles did I need? This time we're going to convert it from moles of one substance to grams of the other. So this is moles of one substance to grams of another. Or it could be that it's grams of one substance to moles of another. But remember, we're doing two different substances from our chemical reaction. Now, this takes two steps. First thing, we have to convert the mole of one substance, mole of one substance, mole of one, to moles of the other, to mole of two. And then we have to take moles of two and convert that to the grams of two. Or conversely, if we're starting with grams and looking for moles, we start with our grams, so the grams of one, to moles of one, which is what we did last week and before spring break. So grams of one to moles of one, and then we go from moles of one to moles of two. So our chart here is going to have two steps in it. So all of our T-charts for this exercise should look like this. Step 1 and step 2. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of examples. The first example, I'm going to show you the two steps separately, and then I'll show you how to combine them and make it just one. For some of you, doing the two steps separately may be easier than doing the combined. For some of you, it may be easier to do the combined. So let's look at our question. How many grams of NaCl when we have 1.25 moles of chlorine? So our given is 1.25 moles, and we are looking at moles of chlorine gas. And we are looking for grams of sodium chloride. I'll do the T-chart for you here in just a second. Anytime we're looking for grams, we're converting grams to moles or moles to grams, whatever that substance is, we're going to need its molar mass. So Na and chlorine, there is one sodium, or I'm sorry, sodium has a molar mass of 23. Again, I get that from my periodic table. Chlorine has a molar mass of 35. So 58 grams. So 1 mole of sodium chloride has a molar mass of 58 grams. Okay, so step 1, I need to convert moles of chlorine gas to moles of sodium chloride. This is what we did last time. So we have, if we look at our equation, we see that 1 mole of chlorine gas produces 2 moles of sodium chloride. So we're given 1.25 moles of chlorine gas. So chlorine goes on the bottom. So we said 1 mole of chlorine and 2 moles of sodium chloride. And that should be equal to 2.5 moles of NaCl. Now we need to convert moles of sodium chloride, or I'm sorry, yeah, moles of sodium chloride to grams of sodium chloride. So this is what we did right before spring break and then right after spring break. So 2.5 moles, 2.5 moles. Okay, sorry about that. 2.5 moles of sodium chloride. We know that 1 mole of sodium chloride, so 1 mole goes on the bottom because we had moles here. 1 mole of NaCl is equal to 58 grams of sodium chloride. So multiply across, divide down. So 2.5 times 58 is 145 grams of sodium chloride. So this would be your answer. Okay, so let me go ahead, and it's going to take me just a second to erase. And I'm going to erase all this information. And I'm going to show you how to combine it. So our type of chart, it has 2 steps, so there are 2 verticals. And we start, our given is grams, which means we're going to have moles and grams, and then moles and grams. So 1.25 moles of Cl2. And we need to convert that to moles. Oh, this should be moles, moles. So this will be moles of Cl2, which was 1. And moles of sodium chloride. So the second step was to convert our moles of sodium chloride to grams of sodium chloride. So then it would be 1 mole of sodium chloride to 58 grams of sodium chloride. So 1.5 times 2 times 58 is equal to 1.25 times 2 divided by 1 times 58 divided by 1 is 145 of NaCl. Okay, so you can do it either way. I sometimes like to do 2 steps separately, and then sometimes I like to set it up this way. So whichever works with you and helps you keep straight what your steps are, what you're doing, and what your steps are. So let's look at the next one. How many grams of AlF3 will react with 0.6 moles of oxygen? So our given is 0.6 moles of oxygen, and we are looking for grams of AlF3. All of these should be 2 steps. And so we're looking for grams of AlF3. So we need to know our molar mass of aluminum fluoride. Aluminum has a molar mass of 27. Fluorine has a molar mass of 19. That's 57. So 84 is our molar mass of aluminum fluoride. Okay, so the first step is converting moles of 1 to moles of 2. So mole of 1, mole of 1, moles of 2, and then converting from moles of 2 to grams of 2. So we start with 0.6 moles of oxygen. And using our equation, we know that 3 moles of oxygen requires 4 moles of aluminum fluoride. So moles of oxygen, 3 moles of O2, 4 moles of AlF3, and then we need to convert moles of aluminum fluoride to grams. So we know that 1 mole of aluminum fluoride is equal to 84 grams of aluminum fluoride. So when we put this into a calculator, it becomes 0.6 times 4 divided by 3 times 84 divided by 1. Should be 67.2. Okay, one more. And this one is going the other way. We are starting with, we're trying to find out how many moles. If I start with grams, how many moles do I need? So we're going to start with 300 grams of water. And we are going to look for, so 300 grams of water. And it's asking us about moles of NH2. So we're looking for moles of N2H2. 2 steps. So we're looking for grams of water. So water is what we need to make sure we know our molar mass of. Hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen, there's 2. Oxygen, there's 1. Molar mass of 1. 16 equals 18 grams of water to 1 mole. So let's start with converting our grams. So in this case, we need to start with our grams of water and convert to moles of water. So we're starting with grams of one. We need to convert it to moles of one. So it's going to be grams of one to moles of one. And then we need to convert our moles of one to our moles of two. So in this case, we start out with 300 grams of water. And then the molar mass of water is 18 grams. To 1 mole. And then we need to convert moles of water to moles of N2H2. So we know that 2 moles of water are produced with 1 mole of N2H2. So 300 times 1 divided by 18 times 1 divided by 2, 8.3. Okay, so if you have any further questions, please make sure to ask. I am happy to help work through these. Just know that if you're going from grams of one to moles of another or moles of one to grams of another, you're going to have 2 steps. And again, whichever way you want to do it, if you want to do the 2 steps separately, I'm okay with that. If you want to do the combined T-charts like I did in the last 2 questions, that is perfectly okay as well. Anyway, y'all have a great day, and I will see y'all next time.